Everybody, MYSTACLES here, and today we're talking eBay versus whatnot. So over the course of about the last 6 months, I've been doing a lot of research on both platforms. One-on-one conversations with buyers, one-on-one conversations with sellers. I put up nationwide and local polls on Facebook for what my local retro gaming communities. So before we get right into it, we should probably talk about each platform and how they differ from each other. Now, eBay is tried and true, been around since been around. I remember using eBay back in the 90s, and it's changed a bunch since then, but only for the better. Now, both platforms have auctions. eBay has text-based auctions, whatnot has live auctions. Now, I know here in the future, live auctions are coming to eBay. I don't know when. Check up their local listings. I'm sure they'll let you know. And I don't know if that's going to be across all categories, probably not in the beginning, but I'm sure they'll let us know. So eBay, you can also buy it now and contact Lister. I do this all the time. I rarely engage in any of the auctions on eBay. Not saying they're bad or anything. I just usually don't. I usually don't wait around. It has to be a really good one, one key item I'm looking for. And in the way that whatnot auctions work are they're live and they vary. See, that's one big thing that's different about whatnot comparing it to eBay. You can go to all different categories of eBay and the auction format is pretty much going to be the same no matter which one you're going to. Now, you go to whatnot auctions, I pretty much only look at the retro video game ones, so I can't tell you about all the other categories and how they may play out in their auctions, but it runs the gambit and whatnot. It's crazy. Sometimes you're going to get a regular kind of format auction where there's a guy or a girl sitting there talking, showing you the games, maybe some music in the background. Other auctions get pretty wild, and you're going to have people on screen drinking, dancing, shaking it, selling games. It's nuts. I'm serious. It's crazy sometimes. But that's kind of how the way the auctions differ on both websites. Now, when it comes to buying on both platforms, it's going to be a very different experience. Buying on eBay is a lot of searching through a lot of different listings, looking for the key thing that you like to find. Buying on whatnot is more of a gamble. It's more of a not listed. You can't go and search any live auctions for exactly what you're looking for. You're gonna have to check in on each auction, bookmark the auctions, follow the sellers, try to find them. It's not like eBay, it's not listed. Now, this can benefit you or it cannot. That's one of the gambles about using whatnot versus eBay. So if you have a pretty wide net cast for your collection, and there's all kinds of consoles you're collecting for and all kinds of different things you want to try and collect, whatnot's not bad. If you're not in a hurry to collect anything in any certain area, it's not bad. If you got a pretty big list, you go through, if something pops up, you find it for less than it is on price charting, maybe you get it for way less. Maybe you get it in real good condition for the price charting price. There's all kinds of variables for, how it could benefit using that type of auction format. Now, whatnot or eBay, it's a lot better when it comes to finding something exactly what you're looking for, exactly when you want it, the exact quality you want it for. And, sometimes you're going to have to pay up for it. Sometimes you're not have to pay up for it. I couldn't tell you how many times on eBay the person wasn't even accepting offers, and I went to contact seller and I made them an offer and they accepted. I don't think they've ever not accepted when I've done this. So I would suggest doing this whenever you see something on eBay that you're looking for, and you gotta shop around. That's the biggest part of this game. You gotta read your own mail and you gotta shop around. But I think both platforms are equally good when it comes to buying. It just depends on what you're looking for. It depends on your exact needs, what suits you and your collection. Alright, so when it comes to buying, let's talk about variety and ease of view. Now, eBay pretty much wins on this end. Anything you want to look for, pretty much anything you want to find at any time, it's on eBay. 99% of it that most people are going to be looking for is going to be on eBay. Now, Whatnot does not have that. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people selling a lot of good stuff on Whatnot, but like I said, it's a roll of the dice on what exactly you're going to get on each auction. And that's part of it. That's part of the fun factor of Whatnot. Now, when it comes to shipping, that's another area I have to say eBay wins in. I'm not saying all the shipping experiences I've had on Whatnot have been bad. Not at all. But they're just very inconsistent. One time I may get a shipped out notification the next day. Sometimes it may be a week from then. It varies all the time. On eBay, it's pretty much the next day. People are pretty much on it. For some reason, the USPS is on it. I've never had a problem with eBay. And if I ever have had a problem, eBay is very buyer biased. And anytime I've had a problem, they went through and replaced it or giving the money back. No issue. Now, that said, it's not to say that Whatnot is bad on shipping at all. So the way shipping works on Whatnot, it's a little weird. The first item is going to start off at $4 or $5.50. Even right now, October 2022, I've seen items start at $4. I've seen items start at $5.50. And your next item in the auction is supposed to be $1.50. All next items after that are supposed to be $1.50. So if you buy something that's real light in the beginning for your first item, you buy an original Xbox after that, $1.50 shipping. So when it comes to that, really you can't beat it. I mean, if you're buying a whole lot of items, you're buying a bunch of games, you're buying several consoles, Whatnot's probably going to be the way you're going to go. In terms of communication, cancellations, and returns on Whatnot versus eBay, it's kind of a mixed bag. I've never had to do a return on Whatnot. I've had to do a cancellation because my baby purchased a $75 game, which I wasn't interested in, and sadly I had to get on there and cancel the item, but it was no problem at all. I literally just had to go through the app and press a button, and the seller was fine with it. He wasn't upset. I'm sure they sold it later on. So now eBay, it's about the same, but that can affect the seller a lot greater on eBay than it can on Whatnot, because they've already got things rolling, things printed off. The Whatnot's happening live, you're watching it, to cancel it right then. If you don't get the email right away or something happens, the seller could be out something. So I imagine, and from who I've talked to, which we'll get into here in a minute, cancellations are a lot worse on eBay. I'm sure returns are bad on both. I didn't get too far into that, so I've never had one personally myself, and they didn't come up a whole lot in the Whatnot area. I guess there's not a whole lot of returns. Not a whole lot of returns when it comes to Whatnot. Not a lot of people were complaining about it anyway. And eBay, not the same. There were a lot, and we'll get into that in a second when we start talking about the selling portion of both platforms. When we're talking communication, Whatnot is really good, especially now that they have the direct messaging. In the beginning, they didn't have the direct messaging, and after the auction, you didn't really know what was going on. And I've never hardly had to contact the seller after the auction. After I get the notification a few days or whatever later that the package is being sent, I don't really have to talk to them anymore. But the option is open. There's direct messaging to any of the sellers, and obviously you talk to them during the auction, and all the ones I've dealt with are real responsive. So communication is pretty open on Whatnot. I'd say it's pretty just as open on eBay. Everyone I message on there is pretty responsive, especially during regular hours of the day. If you're doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning, probably maybe not so much, but I'd say that both platforms are probably about equal when it comes to communication, returns, and cancellations. So the last part of the buyers section of this video is going to be pricing and fun factor. Now pricing, I'm going to start off with eBay. I'm going to say it's pretty strict. It's pretty much price charting prices, give or take a little bit. Add a few bucks, take a few bucks. Like I said, buyers seem to be pretty open with taking offers, even if they don't have the option there for the button to click that says make an offer. Scroll on down to the bottom where it says contact seller, contact them, send them a fair offer. The worst they're going to say is no. Now when it comes to Whatnot, it's all over the place. You're going to have some sellers selling stuff, starting stuff off close to price charting. You're going to have some sellers starting stuff off.
Oh boy, coming at you again with another great morning of GameCube. We've got tons and tons and tons of titles, going to be running whatever you guys want. Some of the favorites, some of the classics, collection fillers, great titles, top titles, all going to be starting at $1 bids with additional giveaways all through the day.
Yeah, I've gotten $150 games for $50. I've gotten $30 games for $35. So it runs the gambit on both markets, both platforms. Bid responsibly, bid at your own risk. It's gonna be all over the place when it comes to pricing on Whatnot. Now that's my opinion. That's not anybody else's opinion that I've talked to. That's my personal opinion for pricing on Whatnot and eBay. Now, fun factor. Fun factor, I have to say, Whatnot wins pretty much hands down. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had plenty of fun nights staying up late, scrolling eBay, looking at the different listings, seeing what I might want to get in the future. But Whatnot, you're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff. You're going to start connecting with some of the buyers. They're hilarious. Some of them got a lot of funny content playing in the background. It's just, I have to say, hands down, fun factor, Whatnot is off the charts. So, check them both out if you haven't, for sure. Not saying any one is worse than the other at all. It all depends on what you're trying to do with your collection. So when it comes to selling on eBay and selling on Whatnot, from all the different people I talk to, it's a little across the board. Now, selling on eBay, the sellers that I talk to, they're pretty strict about it because that's where they make their money. And that's where they make the most money. I've talked to a lot of them that went to both platforms. And a lot of them that came from eBay, it seems that they didn't like that they were losing so much money on each game compared to what they got from eBay. But they did see that they sold a lot more games than they might sell in a single night on eBay. So once again, it always depends on the type of seller you are and what you're trying to do. But I would definitely say that it seemed like everyone that I talked to and the pools that I pulled from, a lot of the sellers that started on eBay and went to Whatnot weren't exactly happy. And a lot of them returned to eBay, happily returned to eBay. And that's not the case for every seller. That's not the case for everybody. That may not be the case for you if you're watching this and you decide to do it. Just talking about from everyone that I talked to and the information that I got. So when it comes to selling on Whatnot, it seems that quantity is king. You're gonna want to have a lot, and that's not to say you're not gonna want to have quality items. You're going to have a lot of quality too. Quality always goes across the board when it comes to retro games. What if it's gonna be something in the cardboard, if it's gonna be a complete console, whatever it may be, quality is gonna come up. People will ask you to open things up and show it and whatever. Now, comparing them to each other, I want to say they're kind of equal because the people who sell on Whatnot love it. Sometimes they break even, sometimes they make a lot, but either way, probably at least had to been over 80% of the people I talk to that sell on Whatnot, they love it, and they're doing everything they can to make it their full-time job if they haven't already. So I'm not saying that's not the case for eBay, but I'm going to say that number was a little bit low from the people that I talked to and the polls that I put up. My opinion, eBay versus Whatnot, I'm going to take the high road and say I like them both. I've had good experiences through both platforms, and both platforms at different times suits my needs. For example, this lunar page from GamePro 1991 I got from eBay for like $7. Showing it in the pickup video earlier. This copy of Sega Seaman for the Dreamcast, I got this for about $40 on Whatnot. Now there's virtually no way I would have got any one of those deals on opposite platforms. That's why I'm telling you to go to both. Don't be biased. Check them both out. They both have good things to offer, good deals. And remember, always contact the seller if you have any questions after the auction on either platform. They're always open. And like I said, in the end, I like them both. And of course, I want to hear what you have to say. So put your opinions, please, in the comments below. And I will catch you next time. I'm MYSTACLES. Stay safe out there.
Never be charity. The enemy your buddy covers all society. Damn right, mommy's not here, gonna fight all night. Right here, shadow 10 o'clock direction. Seize the moment, destroy the nation. You run slow motion, give me motivation. Breathe out now, and then I'm a rival. Round up around, spit out all over. Rhyme like a rolling stone, come in the crowd. Watch out the moon, that this too loud. This was this sound, and bombs hold round. So round up, don't ease your pace, cause enemies brutal. Moment of truth, there ain't no truth. You're the only one war, one love. But the battle goes on, shadow.